In 1790, there were fewer than 20 federal crimes. Today, there are over 5,000 federal crimes, as well as 300,000 regulations that carry a criminal penalty. In Texas, there are over 1,700 crimes, as well as thousands of other regulations that carry a criminal penalty. Many of these crimes don't actually require a guilty state of mind, also known as mens rea. What mens rea is essentially that you have to either know or your behavior was so reckless that you should know that what you're doing is illegal. In fact, each and every person commits about 3 felonies a day, which I'm just about over, and it's only lunchtime right now. So what we've done in Texas is try to combat this overcriminalization epidemic. First, we've codified the rule of lenity, which is an age-old canon, which essentially states that if a crime is ambiguous and your behavior is ambiguous, if you were actually should be convicted of it, that the tie goes to you. So the legislative intent of the actual offense maintains intact throughout the prosecution. Second, we've convened a commission to look at each and every criminal offense that's in the Texas Penal Code and outside the penal, actually only outside the Penal Code. What this will do is essentially look at all these regulations, see if they're broad, unambiguous, and actually necessary to continue on the books. Third, we've established a mens rea provision, which is that guilty state of mind that you have to actually to be convicted of the crime. Here in Texas, if the actual statute's silent, then we have a reckless standard that's automatically placed in. At the federal level, we're trying to do the same thing. There are 2 bills, one in the House and one in the Senate, that are looking at putting a baseline mens rea as we have in Texas. However, many people critique it, saying that this is going to let a lot of hedge fund billionaires and CEOs get off scot-free because now they have to actually have the intent to commit the crime. However, the CEO and billionaires who have their army of lawyers who know the ins and outs of the criminal justice system are not going to be the ones affected. It's a small person, it's the little guy, it's a small employer who has to navigate these waters on their own. Take, for example, Lawrence Lewis. Lawrence was a guy in Washington, D.C. who came up as a janitor all the way up to as an engineer at a military retirement home. A lot of the patients started dumping their diapers into the toilet, which was clogging up and causing a sewage backlog. So just as Lawrence was trained to do, he started to divert the sewage into a drain that he thought went to a sewage treatment center. It actually went into a creek, and that creek flowed into the Potomac River. Lawrence was charged underneath the Clean Water Act for a felony under this, and he could be convicted because there was no actual guilty state of mind necessary for the offense. And this is the type of person that's going to be harmed if mens rea reform doesn't happen at the federal level like it has in Texas.